Look, this is the part where I'm supposed to convince you to move to Rochester so I can make commission. Instead, what I'm going to do is giving you the kind of honest people usually pay for the private consultation. If you are thinking about moving to Rochester, New York, what you are about to hear is literally going to save you thousands of dollars and your years of frustration. This video is designed to be one of the most valuable video that is ever existing in the internet about moving to Rochester, and you are getting this for completely free. Because here's the truth, Rochester is absolutely not for everybody. And the people who move here with the wrong expectations are the one emailing me 18 months later saying, we can't do this anymore. How quickly we can able to get out of here. In next few minutes, you're going to get the 5 brutal, honest reasons why you should not move to Rochester, New York. If you are make it to the all the way and you still feel pulled in, then you might be actual type of person in the city quite works for. Really quick, if this is the first time here, my name is Kadariya with the Rochester Relocation Guide. My team and I help people buy, sell, relocate in and out around the Rochester and its suburbs like Pittsburgh, Victor, Fairport, Henrietta, Grace, and all of it. Unlike the usual, the top 10 region of Rochester is amazing video. This isn't the highlight reels of the pretty houses and a fall season. This is going to be a stuff people usually only find out after they move here and sign the papers and they are completely got stuck here. I would much rather tell you the hard things now and lose you as my clients and then have you move here unprepared, hate it, and then you call me after 3 years to sell your house and lost your capital. All of our contact information is in the description below. If you wanted to talk through whether Rochester actually fits your lifestyle, but first let's talk about why it may not fit your lifestyle. Everyone talks about snow when they talk about the Rochester. The snow is not the real problem. The problem is what happens to your brain between the November and April. You don't just get the winter, you get the feels like one very long gray wet hallway of the season and day blur together. The sky is the same color as in the parking lot and your car, your house, your mood, everything's turning to a same shade of the slash. The people moving from the south and the west coast thinks we want 4 seasons, and what they actually want is the falls in the Instagram reel, the Hallmark movie snow, and then a cute little spring. Rochester gives you the incredible fall, heavy lake effect snow, and then a long muddy gray pre-spring that feels like someone forgot to turn the world back on. Here's what nobody prepares you for. The lake's effect moisture get into everything, your shoes, your entryway, your dogs, your basement. The consistent on and off of the snow, melting freezer to turns driveway into a front stage of the skiing rink. And the cost of logistic of life is just getting a kid's grocery, dog in and out of the car became the Olympic sport. If you don't have actual plan for the winter, indoor hobby, gym, community, kids activities, you ended up doing the same 3 things: work, couch, and a screen. That's what the people are saying. We love our house, but it feels like I am decomposing. The people who thrive here either grew up on this or they treated the winter like a project. They schedule a trip, they ski, they skate, they play the hockey, and they join the local league. They use the cold as an excuse to get really intentional about how they're gonna spend a time. If your happiness is directly tied to the blue skies and the patio weather, Rochester will test you in a way you cannot feel through the Zillow listing. On paper, Rochester looks easy to get around, and it is not Atlanta. It is not LA, it is not a huge metro, but there is a hidden trip that people does not calculate until they are exhausted. The commute quality of life trade-off. You got here, you feel in love with the house that's perfect. Suburb, maybe Pittsburgh for the school, Victor for the newer builder, Webster for the lake, and the Kennedy Grove for the vibe. And your job, however, is on the other side of this city. On Google Map, the commute looks like a 20 to 25 minutes. In reality, it is a 25 minutes commute in the snow at 7:30 a.m. behind the plow and a nervous driver. It is like a 35 minutes drive home in the dark during the lake effects bands. It is constant low-level stress of is 490 back up? Is 390 shut down, or is a 104 a sheet of ice? There is almost no true mass transit safety here. If you are used to subway or the light rail, Rochester is a car city. That means every adult needs reliable wheels, and every long commute is your time, your gas, your maintenance, and your winter risks. And here's the part nobody thinks about. All of the kids' life, your sports, and your social life will also be the car base. That little bit of further out house became an extra hours a day in a car running back and forth. The people who wins here is buy as close as possible the life they actually live, nearby the job, by school, and a daily route, not the fantasy life they imagine on the sunny July visit. Reason number 3, on the internet, Rochester looks affordable, and what you don't see is how it is to step into a house that is cheap to buy and expensive to own. Rochester has incredible older housing stocks. Victorians, colonials, 1920s city homes, charming chapel, and a split level from the 60s and 70s. They photograph beautifully. The problem is what's hiding. Roof near enough life, old plumbing, 60 to 100 years old foundation, and the electrical system never designed for 2025 power uses. And here's how people get burned. They stretch to buy the hot suburb home for the name, not realizing the property taxes are significantly higher than the surrounding area. They fall in love with the renovated older homes where the cosmetics are new, but the bigger ticket items are at the end of the lifespan. And they don't budget for the basement water management, insulation, and heating system that runs the hotter here in a mirror climate. And there is budget-friendly homes with the ongoing surprise expenses higher than expected. The utility bills in the winter, consistent small repair, and the one mystery dump corner of the basement that never quite dry out in the March. The people who do well here don't just ask what is the list price, they ask what will the house actually cost me to live in the next 5 to 10 years. They look for the taxes, age of the system, the insulation, and how this specific house will be behind the Rochester winter and the sluggy spring. If you are not willing to dig beyond pretty photos and the monthly payment calculation, Rochester affordable homes can turn into a slow, deep money pit. Reason number 4, there is a massive gap between what people imagine their lifestyles will feel like here and what the day-to-day actual life became. From a distance, Rochester looks like your lakes, winery, festival, the Finger Lake, the colorful fall, minor league sports, and a tight, livable city with some cool neighborhood. All of those exist here, but none of those automatically become your lifestyle just because your mailing address is changed. Here is what people run into. That lakeside life you picture usually come with a higher price tag, more maintenance, a long drive than you planned. The cozy, walkable neighborhood you saw on the YouTube, most people is still driving to the groceries, daycares, and the schools. That idea of being 15 minutes from everywhere, that's technically true in the one direction at the time, not all at once. If you move here with the expectation the Rochester will hand you the built-in social life and a friends group and a non-stop events, you are going to feel like the city is quite slow and even little lonely. Rochester is very much a you get out and you put in town. The people who thrive here build their own community through their kids' activities, church, league, hobbies, volunteer, tight-knit community. They are not sitting around waiting for the city to entertain them. The last one, Rochester is not the main character city. It is a stable city. If you are not honest about which one you really want, you will be unhappy here. If you move from the New York City, the Austin, Nashville, Denver, the bigger city, those places come with a very loud story about who you are. The Instagram writes itself. The city does a lot of the heavy lifting for your identity. Rochester doesn't do that. Rochester is more like the friend who showed up on time, paid your bills, and quietly build wealth in the background. It is not screening for the attention. The cost of living, the scale of the city, the job mix, it is all lens towards build a solid life, not the perform of the movie version of your life. And that's where the people get trapped up. If deep down you want is a bigger, louder, branded city energy, but you pick the Rochester because it is affordable or because you got the place here for work, you're going to feel like something is missing and you won't have a language for why. People who loves here are more interested in stability than the louder culture. They are happy to trade endless nightlife for kids can ride the bike on the street. They are okay with the city not being a star of the show as long as their life works. If you need a city to be part of your personality, or if you need a consistent external stimulation, Rochester is probably going to feel like a small, too quiet, or too normal for you. So 5 reasons not to move to Rochester. The inside winter will wear you down if you not built for it. The commute life can quietly steal your time. The old house and the tax surprise can make the affordable living very expensive. The lifestyle expectations gap can leave you lonely or disappointed. And this is the stable city, not the main character city. If you have listened to all of that and you are thinking honestly that it still sounds okay, you might actually be the type of the person who can thrive here. Because Rochester quietly our people who values the stability over flash, who cares more about the community and the family than consistent entertainment, who are willing to plan around the winter instead of complaining about it, and who can think strategically about where they live relative to the work, schools, day life. Here is what nobody tells you. If you play it right, Rochester can be one of the best boring wealth building decision you ever make. You will not flashing the same level of price insanity as a big name city, but you still have a real job center, real neighborhood, the opportunity to buy into areas that are slowly improving. If you are intentional about picking the right pocket of the metro of your actual daily life, understand the true cost of ownership on the house you buy, and be honest about your personality and what the city energy you really want. You can build equity, have some reasonable cost living, and create a life that actually works instead of one that just look like online. So here is the challenge. Don't move to Rochester just because cheaper than you are now or because your company said, hey, we're opening a new office there. Move here because you really thought through those 5 reasons not to, and you have decided they are not the deal breaker for you. If you want the real conversation, not a sales pitch, about whether Rochester makes sense for your situation, all of our contact information is in our description below, pinned in the comments. Yes, my team helps people relocate here and buy homes, but more importantly, we help people avoid the kind of mistake that makes them wanted to move back after 2 years. If Rochester is right for you, let's build the plan that actually fits your life, and if isn't, let's figure out that before you unroot everything. Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful, make sure you subscribe to my channel for the future video. Save this video and also share it with the people you're debating about this move with. And I will see you in a next video.